friends, and welcome back to Minimum Player Count. I am Stephanie. If you're new to my channel is about bringing you board game reviews at the minimum player count. Now, my minimum player count is typically 2, but sometimes I will also play the solo variants, and in this case, this is a solo game. So today we are taking a look at Maquis. No, there's no R. Maquis. Okay, well, I'm not French. I speak Spanish, so you can't hate on me for this, okay? So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is the setup. So, in this game, you do have mission cards here that are 1 and 2 stars, as you can see on the back. So I started out with these 2 cards. When you set up your game, you'll put one card here and the other one will go here. These are technically now locations on where you are going to complete the missions. So when you start out, the blue piece goes right here on the start. Every time you hit one of these orange numbers, your morale goes down. Now when you start out, you get 3 resistance and 3 patrol. Now, you can also see that it's notated on this card here. The amount of patrol is the little red number. Your patrol are never to be less than the number of resistance members you have. So if I start getting more resistance members by going to like the cafe, I will get also more patrol. Your soldiers, this is the soldiers, they start out at 0. So you lose 1 morale whenever a soldier track is advanced as well. When starting out this game, you have these cards as well that are patrol. This is where the patrol will start spawning out to. So when I flip a card, you'll see this is the first location they'll go to if you don't have any resistance members there. And then if there are resistance members there, they'll go to the second location and then again to the third location depending. So let me just show you a basic example of a gameplay. I also want to show you there are these locations here that you get with this game. Now these fit perfectly in the spare room. There are 3 spare rooms on the board, and these locations will give you extra actions that some of the regular locations do not provide. So like the smuggler here, it is 3 doctor's bags or 3 food. And let's see. This is a safe house, so this is a secondary safe house that you have because in the beginning you only have 1. So this gives you another place or location that you are safe at. This is a counterfeit. This is where you can get some more money. This is where you're able to exchange 1 medical bag for a bomb, which in this case we would actually need because we are going for this quest, which is destroy the train. So the text on this card reads, "We received intelligence that the occupation are going to be transporting panzers along the railway near your town. Plant bombs to destroy this train as it passes. Deliver 3 explosives to this location. This mission must be completed between days 6 and 9. The other mission that I have out here is infiltration, and it reads, "The best place to collect recon is often from the inside. Insert a mole into the Milas. Deliver 2 intel to this location. The worker must remain here until another worker delivers 1 weapon and 1 explosive. While the first worker is here, you may look at the top card of the patrol deck before the placement phase." So let's do a trial run like I said. These are tokens that we have here that are showing that we actually have these tokens in our possession. So right here, these are the general stockpile, and once I collect them, they will go down here. This is another card that's very important when you're playing this game. This tells you kind of what the icons are. This is for a weapon. This is increase or decrease morale. Recruit a worker from the cafe. Add a spare room to the current location. Airdrop, which airdrop you need to go to a location, and once you airdrop, you will get that specific item to one of the fields that are available, you decide. Pick up an airdrop resource not on the same turn as airdrop and may complete an action without returning workers to safe house. On my turn, what I'm gonna do is I have my 3 workers here. Now I do know that one important thing that I need is I'm going to need doctor's bags because I'm gonna need to exchange those for this chemist lab here. But to get the chemist lab, I'm also going to need 2 money. So to get money, I have to go either to, let's say, radio B or radio A, because I can do an airdrop, and an airdrop will add 1 money or weapon or 3 food to an empty field. So when looking at this board, it's very important to pay attention to the connections, because if a patrol blocks your way back to the safe house, you actually will end up losing that resistance member because you cannot actually make it back home. So in this game, the Point Levique and the grocer are really the main 2 points of the way to make it back to the safe house from anywhere out here. So I think I'm gonna try to do an airdrop, which if I go over to Point Levique, then I can probably go to the doctor and radio A as long as a patrol doesn't stop me. And radio A is the first spot a patrol will go. So now I can no longer go to that location. Well, let's go to the doctor because I do want a doctor's medical bag. Now they're going to radio B. It's like they know where I was trying to do. Okay, and then let's see. One other thing that's important that I think I'm gonna also take advantage of right now is going to the grocer, because you can exchange 1 food to get an extra resistance member, which is important in this game. So 1 more card is flipped. Now they're going to radio B, but there's already somebody there. Grocer is already somebody there, and now they're gonna go to the black market. So that is the end of that round. What happens now is, now we're going on to day 1, and I get to collect all of my resistance members. Now if they make it back safely, which this one will, I will now get a food item. This one doesn't have any icons here, so that was just a safe bet to place them. And now this one will make it back from the doctors because there's nobody in their way, and they will give me a medical bag. All these patrol now go back and you start the next round. So as you continue, you're trying to figure out where you're gonna be going, also paying attention to the patrols, trying to get more people, also paying attention to the day track here to know what available actions you have or how much time you actually have to complete a mission, so before the whole thing goes awry and you are not successful. But let's now move on to final thoughts so I can give you my thoughts on this game. Alrighty, so final thoughts for this game. I'm not saying the name. So while you're playing this game, you may have, different options for cards in this game. I really enjoy that they have different varying levels of cards, and they even have rules for more experienced gameplay in this as well. When I was playing this, my boyfriend was kind of like, I don't know if it's gonna be that exciting to play, and then I started playing it and he was like really interested into what I was doing because it is very strategic. And honestly, I've only played a handful of solo board games in my whole repertoire, so you may not take my opinion with that much value, but I enjoyed this because of the different cards that are available, and that changes your gameplay each time. I also enjoy this because I like how the difficulty of trying to get specific tiles out, because you do have your extra tiles that you can put out if you pay 2 money in certain areas, which are called the spare room. So when you do that, it'll give you certain advantages that you need sometimes in each game, and it also adds that extra crunch to your time because it's adding those days to there. So some of the cards will say, hey, you need to do this between day 6 and 9, and so you're trying to get this one done, but you're also trying to pay attention to the other one. And I think it's a very fun game just for the fact that there is varying options for this, and if you are more experienced in solo games, you can change the level of difficulty for this. I don't know, I think it's just a well-made game. I think that if you enjoy playing solo games and sometimes having a different objective for each of your games, that this could be a game for you. Personally, as I don't play a lot of games solo, this may not be something that I'd be like, oh, I want to pull out all the time, because I usually try to play games at the 2-player count. The game is very simple to set up and it's very simple to put away. I also like in the board that we have here, it is double layered, so you can easily put in your specific areas for the spare room if you do decide to use some of those. I like how they also utilize the back of this as well to actually put an actual image on here. It's a very minimal game. There's not a lot going on with iconography and things like that, but once you kind of get it down, it's very easy to know where you're going and what actions and moves you are doing for this game. It honestly kind of reminds me of Black Sonata in some ways, because of, even though that one's like a completely different game, it reminds me some way of how you're trying to really figure out where they're going next, or in the other case of Black Sonata, you're trying to figure out where the lady is going to be going to try to catch her. In this case, you are trying to figure out where the patrols are going to be going, so you're not actually sure, so you're trying to place your people out so that you can still have an option of making it back to your safe house without the patrols catching you. And you know, it adds a very good amount of strategy for the theme and the type of game that this is. I hope this helped you in deciding if you wanted to back this game. It is currently on Kickstarter, the second version, so there are going to be some updates to this game, as this is the first version that I'm showing you here. But I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Reconnaissances? Can you say it? The best place to collect reconnaissances. Why am I saying that wrong? Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance. Yes. Recon.